Hello, everyone. I hope you all having a great day. Back at it with some more discussion. Today, what I'd like to be discussing is the Houston Astros. Now, I've been a Houston Astros fan for about 35 years. I've watched almost every game. Let's see, out of about 33 seasons, I've watched most of the games, probably 30 of the 33 seasons. There was a time where I wasn't able to get their games regularly, but now with MLB Pass and all that stuff, you can get every game. So for about 30 seasons, I've watched nearly every game. So I mean, we're talking maybe 4,500 games or so I've watched of this team. It's been my team my whole life, and there's been a lot more good moments than bad moments. Going back to the Bagwell and Biggio days, I know they didn't win any World Series, but they were always a very good team. It was a regular season team, a very good regular season team most of the time. So they gave us a lot to watch. We just, going up against the Braves back then, and I mean, with Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Millwood, Nagel, whoever they had at the time, they always had 4 or 5 all-star pitchers, starters. The Astros were just always ran into the Braves. I know one year they ran into the Padres, but my point is, I've seen a lot of Astros baseball. And I know there was a stretch from around 11 to 13 where they lost 100 games every year, 100 plus games. They were just a horrible team. Horrible team. But they were rebuilding. There was no expectations. There was no money spent. The payroll was low. You basically had one player, maybe 2 players on the entire team. And there was no expectations. Well, going into this year, there were pretty decent expectations. There was a lot of people that picked the Astros to go to the World Series again. I know I was one of them. And I understand there were a lot of injuries this year. They've had more injuries this year than ever. And a lot of key guys out. But, I know it's not football. And I know it's not just you play hard and that's it. You're going to win. It takes a lot of skill also. But even with the replacements and with the next man up and with the trade deadline moves, this team has had a lot of talent, even with injuries. We've always had more than capable players in there. And this team had so many chances this year. Going from, I mean, the division was basically handed to them. I mean, it was handed to them on a silver platter. All they had to do was pick it up and eat. That's it. And they had the golden opportunity against the Mariners at home in Houston, and they just choked. I mean, that's all there is to it. They just choked. Top to bottom, even with injuries, this team has as much talent as the Mariners. But they just choked. And then, so we're like, okay, the division's out of the reach. Let's go for the wild card. Going into this series with the A's, the Astros were tied for the wild card spot, the last wild card spot. Tied for it. 6 games. We looked at it. The Tigers had to play Cleveland and then Boston at Fenway. So 2 road series for the Tigers. And the Guardians get to play the Tigers and the Rangers. And the Red Sox had to go through Boston and Detroit. So a lot of beating up on each other, the teams that we're chasing. Meanwhile, the Astros got to have a ending schedule playing the A's and playing the Angels. I mean, 2 of the worst teams in baseball for the last 5 years, easily. And bottom feeders. So the Astros were just handed this wild card. They just had to go take it. Well, they come out against the A's and just look worse than they've looked all year, back-to-back games. I mean, one run in 2 games against 2 bum starting pitchers. Now, Severino had a 6+ ERA at home this year. I believe he was 1-9 at home. Well, he looked like a Cy Young winner against Astros, but hey, so did Jeffrey Springs. I mean, you're talking another, I call him a bum pitcher. The Astros scored 1 run against 2 bums. And I'll be honest, 2 bums. And Hunter Brown, supposed to be this ace starter, supposed to be a Cy Young candidate, whatever. Well, he again melts down like he has this last month of the season. Gives up 4 runs against, my gosh. Outside of a few guys, a minor league baseball team here. Who in this lineup scares you on Oakland other than Kurtz and maybe Soderstrom and Rooker? They got 3 guys. Nobody else puts any kind of fear in you. If you're worried about those guys, pitch around them. Hunter Brown shouldn't have to pitch around anybody. But he can't. He shows he cannot handle the pressure. Just like Valdez. Valdez can't handle the pressure. This team is the most unclutch, if that's a word, unclutch, non-clutch, whatever, Astros team that I've watched. There's no clutchness at all to this team. And it starts at the top. And I know the manager's not the one out there swinging the bat. I know he's not the one out there pitching. But you know what? He in no way motivates this team. There's no motivation. And I know they're adults. They're professional athletes. You shouldn't have to motivate them. You shouldn't have to be motivated. But a manager needs to give them a kick in the butt. There's no motivation on this team. One guy has heart on this entire team. That's Correa. Everybody else just looks lost. Altuve hasn't been a leader. Correa's the only guy that showed any leadership on this team. You paid Walker all that money. He's not a leader. All he does is strike out. You brought in Paredes with the Tucker trade. Paredes doesn't show leadership. And, all he's been doing since he's come back is striking out. Urias is a little bit of a leader, but he's not playing well. He's not stepping up. Nobody. Alvarez, every week he stubs his toe, he's out. He's as soft as they come. I love Alvarez, but man, he's soft. He won't play with anything, any kind of nagging injury or anything. He will not play. Pena, I thought he was tough, but he took off at the wrong part of the year. He basically checked himself out with these games. Maybe he can't handle the pressure. Maybe, I don't know. Just top to bottom, starting with Brown. And I don't care what anybody has to say. When the Astros had the cheating scandal, it's like they just wanted to try to look better. So they go out and sign Dusty Baker. And I know he did end up getting a ring. But to me, Dusty Baker, letting go of Hinch and hiring Dusty Baker was a pure DEI hire. And I'm not trying to bring politics into this, but I believe, honestly, they hired Dusty Baker and Dana Brown, both for DEI hires because they were black. It's like the Astros thought, hey, we'll try to do something to look good. We'll hire a black manager that's out of a job. We'll hire a black GM. And, yeah, Dusty Baker did get a ring, but let's face it, he had the dynasty handed to him. The dynasty that Hinch built was taken from him. at Dusty Baker. I mean, they could have put any other manager in baseball out there and they would have won. I mean, point blank, they would have won. They had the all-star team. Dana Brown, man, I have seen some rough GMs in my life with this team. We have had some bad GMs, and we all got spoilt with Luno, who got shafted also. We should have never let go of Luno. Luno was just best GM I've ever seen. He pulled all the right strings. But, you know, they let him go and go get Dana Brown. I mean, who the hell is Dana Brown? That guy has done more to gut this team than any manager, GM I've seen. Maybe in any, I mean, for sure the Astros. I mean, I take that back a little. We did have some good GMs through the years. We have had some good GMs. But Dana Brown, man, what moves has he done that were good moves? I mean, he basically took all of our leaders and let them go. He let go of Bregman. He traded away Tucker. Tucker wasn't a leader, but still, it's yet to be seen if we really even got anything for Tucker, because Cam Smith is just not looking as bright. His future's not as bright looking as it once was. You know, Paredes, he can never play his full season. The guy's hurt more than just about anybody. And then you go out and pay Walker. That was just a horrible contract. Walker is just, I mean, he's not as bad as Abreu was, but it's almost like Abreu 2.0. You know, Wisnowski, as soon as we get him, he's out. I mean, he's always been hurt. Even when he was with the Cubs, he was hurt all the time. This guy's just, you know, this is why I cannot stand DEI. Because I believe the Astros were forced, almost felt forced, to have to hire Dana Brown because he was a black general manager. You know, they thought, hey, this will help people support us more because we'll be politically correct. And, I mean, what other reason would they hire Dana Brown? Who the hell is Dana Brown? Like I say, who the hell was Dana Brown? He got lucky with the Braves. They pulled some good strings. Well, where are those strings at with us? I mean, they've done nothing with us. Nothing. What strings has he pulled with us? And I will ask that over and over. What strings has he pulled with us other than bad ones? And then you know, you don't go get a real manager when Dusty retires. You take a Spada. I mean, come on, man. What's a Spada? Who is a Spada? What has he done? What has he done managerial-wise? He had no resume. Meanwhile, you had guys out there with resumes. You know, you could have went, I mean, there was a handful of guys they could have went with out of work. I mean, I don't care who you go get. As long as they have managerial experience and they have won at some level. Buck Showalter was out there. I mean, he's won. He won with he's won a lot of games. He's a good, proven manager. Very good, proven manager. You could have went and got him. You know, there was other guys out there. I can't think of the names right now, but I remember there were at least 5 good managers out there. And who would have thought we would have stuck with a spot? I guess they didn't want to spend any money. Well, now you're stuck with a bad manager. Now you're stuck with one of the worst GMs there in baseball for sure. The training staff, I don't want to get started on these bums. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they just hand out protein bars all day and make protein shakes, mix smoothies up. They're not, I don't know what kind of training they're doing. You know, and I'm not about to go into everything, but this Astros team, for as many injuries as they always have, something's not right. The training staff is not doing their job. I know freak injuries happen, But, I mean, how many times do the Astros pull hamstrings? How many times do they slide and injure an ankle or something? I mean, do they stretch before games? Baseball players have been doing the same thing, but used to play harder than they do now. And yet, they didn't get injured that much back in the day. Nothing like they do nowadays. Bagwell and Biggio played 162 games almost every year. They played harder than anybody on this Astros team today. And I'm sure they tweaked their ankle. I'm sure they hurt their knee. I'm sure they would hurt their hand. But they didn't miss all these games. Why is it Alvarez can slide and he's out for 2 months? Why is it he can't slide without getting hurt? Why is it he can't swing the bat for a month straight without hurting his wrist? I mean, what's going on? How could a guy of his stature be so soft? Pena. Why is Pena getting injured so often? What's wrong with him now? What did he do? Why? I mean, these guys could literally celebrate around the bases and they're injured. I mean, I've never seen a team get injured so frequently as this Astros team. Never. I mean, injuries are a part of baseball, a part of sports, but you would think this Astros team was playing football. I mean, they're more injured than some football teams. I mean, they literally have an injury report like a football team. I mean, what's going on here? Why? Why is all this happening? I'm shocked. What's going to happen next? I say top to bottom, all management's gone. You start with Brown. You get rid of that bum. You get rid of him, and I don't give a crap who it offends, who says, you only got rid of him because he's black or whatever bull crap. This guy is a bum. If he was a good GM, I don't care what color you are, purple or red, white or black. If you're a good GM and you bring this team wins, that's fine. That's good. But if you can't do your job, you need to get your ass out of there. Espada, gone. He's a second to go. Training staff, everybody in the training staff, gone. We need a complete overhaul on training staff. And maybe the one we bring in will be like, hey, we better, do our job, not just lollygag whatever these idiots are doing. I don't see how they're professional at all if they can't I understand injuries happen, but when this many injuries happen, that tells you a lot about the training staff. Brown, Espada, training staff. Cintron. I'm not going to forget about Cintron. He has got to be one of the worst hitting coaches I've ever seen. This team, their overall hitting is just horrendous, especially with runners in scoring position. There's no, choke up on the bat to make more contact whenever it's 2 strikes. There's none of the fundamentals. They don't know how to bunt. All he teaches is swing for the fence. I could go out there and tell you to swing for the fence. That doesn't make me a hitting coach. You have guys like Dubon with no power, swinging uppercut, trying to hit home runs, batting 240. Really? You got a guy that can't hit with any power swinging for the fence. That's on the hitting coach. That's on the manager. Altuve after all these years, you would think a hitting coach would be able to work with him about all these swinging at everything out of the strike zone. If he was patient at all, the guy would be one of the best hitters in the game. Still. But, he's very impatient. Walker, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get started on that guy. Complete bum. I've never seen somebody on the Astros strike out as much as what he does. The guy's contact rate has got to be the bottom in the league. It's pathetic. Totally pathetic. Everybody in the management has to go, top to bottom. Pitching coach, I don't know what he has done, but this pitching staff there's just so much wrong with it. And then, so all the management has to go. Players, Valdez is the first to go. I mean, just a complete bum. The guy has nothing upstairs. Nothing. I think he is like basically on mental retardation level upstairs. Something's wrong with this guy. He's off. I mean, he's off. Nobody wants to say it in the media, but he's off. He's slightly retarded for sure. He has no calm demeanor at all. You get him rattled, all he has to do is just get a little rattled, the game's over. If I was another team, I would do whatever I had to do to rattle him, and teams are learning that. Teams are figuring that out. Stare him down or something. He'll get pissed. He's done. Get rid of him. Let him walk. Dubon definitely got to go. The guy brings nothing to the table. I don't want to hear about this utility crap. There's a lot of guys in baseball that can play multiple positions. I mean, and hit better than 230 or 240 with no power. I mean, the guy brings nothing to the table. Nothing. A guy that started out as a good contact hitter that could hit 280, 290 with no strikeouts. Now he swings for the fence, strikes out all the time. He brings nothing to the table offensively. He's an average defender. You can replace him with ease. Let him go. Walker. I don't know who you could find dumb enough to take him. Try your best to trade him. Get rid of him. Try not to have to pay much of that contract. Maybe somebody's dumb enough to take him out there. Try to get out of that contract the best you can. That was a horrible money spent. I know Diaz is young, but I don't know. I never see Diaz being a team player, and I never see Diaz being a guy that makes a lot of contact. He's an all or nothing hitter, basically. He swings for the fence. I liked him at first, but he has regressed big time this year, and he's a horrible catcher. He can't throw. He's got one of the worst arms in the league. Teams are just starting to run on him. Let him go. Maybe you can get something for him. He's got some value because of the first 2 years that he played. See if somebody will bank on the first 2 years. How, he was a very good player, but he has regressed. Sanchez, he has a lot of potential, but if he hadn't got his potential out in his 4 or 5 years, maybe he's never going to. So unless you can get him just really cheap, I would let him go. He rubs me the wrong way. I know it's good to be happy, but you don't parade around smiling and laughing and happy when you're in a pennant chase or a division run or a wild card run and you're needing to win real bad and you're getting your ass kicked by the A's. You don't go around smiling like you just won the freaking lottery, okay? That almost makes me think that's a guy for sure just playing for the money, which I believe most of this team's just playing for the money. So I don't like guys like that on the team. I want gamers. I want Correas. I want guys that play hard. I want a Bregman back on this team. I want a guy that does give a shit. Because there's too many guys that don't give a shit on this team. So, anyways, looks like a sad ending to a dynasty. From 17 to 24, 8 straight division titles. They had 7 straight ALCS visits before last year, and 8 years in a row in the playoffs. It's a sad ending, but most of these guys weren't on those teams. So I mean, it's over. That's just honest truth. They need to rebuild. I don't mean a complete rebuild. Like, we're going to still have some key pieces, but we're going to have to rebuild around those pieces. You can't be getting your ass kicked by bums like the A's and Angels and, losing, not even making a wild. I mean, it's not hard to make a wild card nowadays. I mean, there's 3 wild card teams. Let's be real. You could barely be above average and make a wild card. The Tigers are barely above average. They're going to make the wild card. Look at the Guardians. They have almost nobody on that team, and they're winning a division. So making a wild card shouldn't be that difficult, especially a team with this kind of payroll. So, build some pieces. Altuve, still has, we can't let him go. I mean, he is a face, one of the faces of the team. Alvarez, build around him, build around Pena. Keep Hunter Brown, he'll mature. But you need a whole new coaching staff. Just everything. Whole new coaching staff, whole new training staff, new GM. Get somebody in there that'll spend some freaking money. This should be a slap in the face. Last year should have been a slap in the face. We lost in the first round. But now, not even making the playoffs. So 2 years in a row of just horrible underachievement. And disappointment. So 2 years in a row, maybe they'll wake up. They'll say, hey, we're going to have to do something about this. Crane's got to have more pride than that. So, anyways, I want to know what all you think. Agree, don't agree, whatever. God bless you all. God bless America. Be safe.